What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about the importance of having a car, or like why it's so important for adults or for teens, or as you get older, why it's always important to have a vehicle. You know, people say driving is a privilege, not a right. I kind of disagree. I feel like driving should be a right, not a privilege, because let's face it, this whole world, or at least in America, it revolves around work. It revolves around money. It revolves around making money. You have to travel to places in order for you to find work. You have to travel to places in order to go to work. And as adults, we got errands to run, we got appointments to be in, this and that. Even if your family member is hurt or dying off, or the family member is very sick, you need to take that family member to like the hospital or something, right? And that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, if you're an adult growing up, or if you're a teen, if you don't have access to like a vehicle or any sort of that, it's gonna make life a lot harder, and it's gonna be fucking lame. It's gonna suck because there are time. Well, I mean, there are substitutes like Uber, the bus stop, the public transit, and taxis. But the thing is that like you gotta pay money for it. I'm not sure how it is in other countries or different states, but I mean, in most states that I've been in, it's so expensive to get Uber rides. You got to pay the average. You got average pay to $10 to $20 for an Uber ride to take you from point A to point B. So in total, you're paying $20 to $40 if you're taking Uber to pick you up and to drop you off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a lot of money, and like that's how you easily lose money. Like if you're trying to save up money to buy a car, but since you don't have a car, especially at the older you get, and since you're trying to go to work, you're trying to go to your appointments, trying to run errands, you're trying to go to the store, you need Uber to take you from point A to point B, and then as you're doing it, you're wasting money. It's annoying. Or like you can ask for a friend for a ride, or you can ask a family member for a ride, or someone for a ride, and I'm sure that gets annoying because you just hate asking for help, or like you just hate bugging that person, or you just don't annoy that person, and it's just annoying, and then you gotta wait for that person, or even that person is cool, you know, you just gotta wait for a certain time, and then you gotta text that person, you gotta call that person. So I'm sure that gets annoying. This is why it's so important to have a car. Having a vehicle in this society is so fucking important, you know? I mean, how else are you supposed to, not only in the work situation, but in the social situation as well? Like, if you're trying to meet, damn, why is this, oh no, it's a fucking sweater. But, like if you're trying to meet different people, if you're trying to explore, if you're trying to date around, if you're trying to meet your romantic interests, if you're trying to explore around the world, if you're trying to explore different cities, different states, it's like traveling around, or like you just want to be away from society, you just want to be away from people, you just want to listen to music, or you just want to listen to your own thoughts, or you want to vent to yourself, you need a car. You can't do all those things without a car. Yes, you can do it in your room, but more than likely you're probably living with a family member, or you're living with a roommate. So it's important to have a car so you can drive in the middle of nowhere, and like you can vent to yourself, you can talk to yourself, or like you can yell, scream, or you can listen to music, or like if you're angry or pissed off, you can just drive around the whole cities and all these roads and just drive in different areas. And I feel like that can be very beautiful and healing. Now, don't get me wrong, there are downsides to having a car. Like you got to pay for insurance, you got to constantly fix and maintain your car, all this dumb shit, right? You got to put gas in your car, you got to do maintenance on it, you got to fix a flat tire. I understand how much it costs to have a car, and like how much of a hassle it is, but it's still worth it, you know? You just gotta have good credit, save up your money, then have a good vehicle, right? And that's one of the good things about it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, I feel like as parents, if you're planning on having a kid or children, please at least have a car for them, so when they do get old, set them up, you know? I don't know why people choose to have kids when they're not even financially stable. If you can't even afford another car for your child, then what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I understand, like, if you're trying to like plan out, but if you have plan on the future, that's one thing. But if it hasn't even come across your thought or your mind, or like if you're not even considerate to think that, oh shit, I'm having a child, I'm bringing a child into this world, I'm bringing a baby into this world. As it gets older, maybe he might need a car. I can't just put him in this fucked up world where like there's money corruptions, there's role corruptions. You're forced to do something you don't want to do in order for you to make money, just so you can live a decent life. You know what I'm saying? Where we're living a rat race where everyone's chasing money, forcing to do shit, forcing to be around people they don't want to be in, just so they can make enough money, just so they can enjoy life just a little bit by the time they're older. You know what I'm saying? So like it's always important, like your parents, like if you plan on having a kid, please, like I'm dead ass serious. I always see parents, not every parents, but I see some parents do this where they're not considerate of setting up their their children or their future generations up for success, and you have to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then you got some parents who make this dumbass excuse like, oh well, I brought this child into this world. It's his job to make something out of himself. And I'm like, yeah, but at the end of the day, he didn't choose to come down here. You brought him down here. You're supposed to raise him. You're supposed to help guide him. You're supposed to set him or her up for success, not make his life harder, confusing. You're supposed to guide the children, and that's how you build generational wealth. That's how you create generational freedom and generational. That's how you create a legacy, by passing down wisdom, knowledge, resources, and a helpful hand and guidance and love to your offsprings. You know, and cycle continues. If you're denying or liking those things, it's gonna create generational curses and generational trauma. And this whole cycle fucking continues. You know what I'm saying? I always see this shit play out. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and I understand as parents, it's not entirely their fault. I understand because, like I said before, we live in a corrupt world. The society's full of shit. Like we're not getting paid enough. There's a lot of enslavement going on. Like there's so much money corruption. So I get it. It's hard to make ends meet. I get it. But I'm just saying, like, if you're having a kid, at least have it to your mind. At least try. You know what I'm saying? But that's a different topic. But I'm just saying, like, as an adult, it's so useful to have a car, because if you have a car, you can hang out with your friends. You could go anywhere you want to go. You could go on dates. You can meet different people. You can meet your romantic interests. You could work multiple jobs having a car. You could do Uber driving. You could do Uber Eats. You could do Lyft. You could work at a side job like Papa John's, Pizza Hut. So you could like deliver pizzas. You could do anything if you have a car. You could go. It's easier for you to find work. It's easier to find employment. It's easier for you to like express yourself, because like if you just want to scream or cry out or just let out your words, you can simply go into your car, drive in the middle of nowhere where there's no one around, and just yell your pain out, just express yourself by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or you could vibe, listen to music, or like, you know what I'm saying? There's so much benefits to it, especially if you have a family. It's very beneficial to have a car so you can take care of your family. Or if you're sick, you're trying to take your loved one to a hospital. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, when you have a car, it's gonna make you independent. It's gonna make you become a very successful adult. Learning how to drive is a great and necessary skill to have. And also owning a car. You must own a car. And I feel like every human being should have a car. I don't know why cars are so expensive. I feel like cars need to be cheaper because last time I checked, this whole world, this whole matrix, this whole society is run on money. And you can't make money according to this society without working these 9-to-5 jobs, without being a slave. Even if you have your own business, you gotta put in work. In order for you to get your resources, the things you need, such as food, clothing, shelter, health, medical health, social-wise, like meeting friends, meeting romantic interests, building connections, all that requires a vehicle. You can't do those things without a vehicle. Yes, you can use the internet to help you with those things, but it costs money for that. Or like you just don't want to stay stagnant. Having a car, it forces you to get off your comfort zone and forces you to not be stagnant. This is why it's so important to have a car. That's why it's important to save up, learn about vehicles. This is why I'm telling you, parents play a crucial part. There's no reason why, there's no excuse why you have teenagers after high school or like adults who don't have a car. I understand sometimes it's their fault based on their decisions, but it's more so it's the family's fault. It's their parents' fault. And it's the society's fault as well, because the society is so inconsistent and it's not stable. If it was stable, we'll have no homeless people. There'll be no third world countries. There'll be people living their best lives. There'll be people, they're not going to do things they're forced to do. But in this unstable ass society we live in, and I don't have answers to make this world a better place. I'm not saying it should be perfect. I'm just speaking from observation. This is how it is. Because it's been going on for thousands of years, clearly. But, you know, when you're working at these jobs, they take up so much of your time, and then you're not getting paid enough. This is where you get your minimum wage jobs from. Like, you get paid $15 an hour. Or it's so hard to find careers where you get paid over $30 an hour, like 6 figures. That should be normal. That should be like a minimum wage, but it's so hard to get that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, so I get it. Like sometimes as adults, they're doing the best they can, but they can't make ends meet. They can't afford to buy a car because they got to save up and buy their own place. They got to buy clothing. They got to go from point A to point B, which requires Uber, which requires money. It just shit happens. Life happens, you know? So people can't make money. People can't make thousands of dollars on the spot unless you're doing a fucking OnlyFans. Unless you're like a female who has like a sexy body and does OnlyFans. I mean, even then, that's hard in itself, because like, how do you know females on OnlyFans actually want to do it? Maybe some of them don't want to do it, but they're forced to do it so they can make ends meet. And I got nothing against that, you know? How I look at it is, hey, you got to use your God-given gifts. You got to use your God-given talents. And I'm not saying that's their talents, but I'm just saying you got to do what you got to do to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it comes like physical appearance or verbal appearance, your skill set, anything, I don't mind it. I don't look at it in a negative way. I just look at it like you're working smarter, not harder. Because this society, it fucks you over. This world fucks you over. So why not do things where you use your best of your ability, right? And as long as it's not harming anyone, you're good. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. So I don't have a problem with like OnlyFans or strippers or anything like that. Matter of fact, I enjoy them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a guy. I'm just saying, but I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is this, like, what am I saying? So yeah, so it's always important to have a car because like you could live such a more entertaining, more fun, more spontaneous, more adventurous life. Just having a car, you could travel around the world, you could meet different types of people, you can explore your interests. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a car, it's gonna be extremely hard, you know, because you're walking 24/7. You gotta walk to work. You got to rely on your friends or family for a vehicle to take you from point A to point B. And then you got to pay for Uber. You got to pay for Lyft. It's just a hassle. And then you got all these appointments coming in. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's annoying. It's definitely hard. So if you're watching this, if you don't have a car or people who don't have a car and they're like an adult or whatever, don't even trip. It's not even your fault, man. Sometimes it is people's fault. Maybe you're bad with finances. But even then, I mean, due to like addictions, that's not even their fault too. Reason why people have addictions because this world is so lame. So this is why people fall to addictions. Or like, is it because the world is lame, or like they don't have the proper guidance, resources, or tools to make their lives productive and getting things done and having success? You know, all of that's not coming across wrong. Like they're not having the proper guidance. More likely, it comes from bad parenting, and that forces kids to do drugs and shit like that because they're not well directed, they're not well parented, they're not guided in the right direction. So they're just wandering through life recklessly. They don't know what they want. They don't know what's out there. They don't know how to search for their soul's purpose or their passions, and they can't find things to occupy them to make them healthy. They can't find healthy substitutes without harming the body. So all that involves bad parenting, in my opinion. But and also society as well, because society projects that shit. But and kind of, not all the time, but kind of. But I could be wrong. I'm just saying. I'm speaking. This video is based on opinion, but that's where I'm getting at. Like, if you don't have a car, just don't even feel bad for yourself. It's not even your fault. It's more likely your parents didn't set you up to have a car, or this society, because it's so hard to make a lot of money so you can afford to buy a decent car. Not just a used car, but a decent car. You gotta work at a certain job to make a lot of money. You gotta save up for a long time. Then you gotta build credit. It's just a hassle, man. It's a hassle. You gotta go to DMV, practice driving. So much shit you gotta do, man. And then once you do have your car, you gotta maintain it, you gotta fix it, you gotta learn how it works and shit. You might get a flat tire, you might have a car crash. So I understand it's a hassle, but I'm just saying, like, there's so much steps you gotta take in order for you to live a loving, decent life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying if you have a car, your life is not decent or loving. There's other ways you can enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? There's people in third world countries who don't have cars and they're enjoying life. So I'm not saying you have to have a car to enjoy life. But I'm just saying, like, if you're living in a society or in a world where, like, everything revolves around working, being from point A to point B, making money, having a car will definitely make things a lot easier, you know? Especially when it's raining outside, or if it's like a really cold weather, or if it's like really hot outside too. Like, it's very dangerous, hostile to go outside. If you don't have a car, it's gonna suck because, like, how you supposed to like be well, you know? If it's raining, if it's snowing, you know, if it's extremely hot, you might pass out, you know? Having a car will make things a lot easier and you'll be a lot more safer, you know? Especially if you work out a career, it'll make things just a lot more simple, you know? It kills a lot of time. You ain't gotta wait as much. You don't have to wait for so long just to get a ride. It's less of a hassle, you know what I'm saying? So cars should be necessary. I feel like every car should be cheaper, but I don't know. So the moral of this video is more like a life rant. I'm just speaking on why it's important to have a car and how much it sucks not having a car. But just know that you're not alone, because I know that feeling. But me, I'm still working on it. I don't have a car now, but I'm still working on it. I'm still like saving up. I'm still trying to build credit. I don't have a car. I'm 25, 26. I never drove I have drove a car. I've taken driving lessons. I had friends help me practice driving. Even family members practice driving. It's very rare, but sometimes. But with family members. But I am taking driving training courses so I could get comfortable driving behind the wheel. I probably drove, like, from training probably like over 20 times. I'm trying to keep driving until I feel comfortable. Then I'll take a driving test, and I'll be good. And even then, I still gotta save up so I can buy a decent car. You know what I'm saying? But just know that you're not alone. Just know that like there's people out there who are doing their best they can, but they can't afford a car because of the money system or because of their upbringing. They're raised by parents or family members who never guided them in the right direction. So it's hard, and like they never set them up for success, or like when it comes to money knowledge, when it comes to how to build credit, how to drive a car, how to fix a car, how to maintain a car, and how to buy a car. Just shit like that where I'm trying to work on because I was never guided by my family members. So I'm trying to work through it. And just know that you're not alone. Just keep fighting, keep being persistent. Try to do the best you can. Don't rush. Don't force things. Just but go hard, make things happen. But like don't just try to release control. Don't try to control the situation, but just try to go hard at your goals. You know what I'm saying? Have control, but don't have control. You just know that eventually, if you really want it, you'll get it. Just stay focused, stay driven, and just know that like just because you don't have a car, you can still enjoy life. And if you do have a car, just I know how much it sucks where you got to pay for gas money and then you got to do maintenance on it. So either way, it's a double-edged sword, I guess. There are pros and cons to everything, but I don't know. This video is random, but just know that you're not alone, and it's always good to have a car, especially as an adult. Always good to have a car. It makes things a lot more simple. You'll kill more time, and you can enjoy life more, in my opinion. So that's all I got to say. Have a good one. Peace.